5 years ago, both Microsoft and Sony has kicked off the 9th generation gaming consoles, that being the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X/Series S. And I gotta say, what the hell is going on? When these consoles first released, it was during the pandemic, where it was hard to go into the store and pick up a console the traditional way. You had no choice to pick it up online and get it shipped to you. But the problem with that was bots, scalpers, and sites being unreliable. Without a doubt, this console generation was a bit interesting. Thankfully, I did secure both consoles on release days, so hence, that's why it was 5 years ago. People out there are just now getting the PS5 or getting the Series X. I want to take the time out to talk about the design of each console, starting with the PlayStation 5 with its futuristic spaceship design, whether you stand it up horizontally or vertically. So you will need the little horizontal feet stand, as you will. The PS5 Pro and the regular PS5 shares the same design language, although the PS5 Pro has different aesthetics, just to symbolize that this is a Pro, the LED lights being on the bottom opposed to the top. And surprisingly, the PS5 Pro is the same exact size as the original PS5. The Slim is a lot smaller, more compact, and I actually had the 30th anniversary of the PS5 Slim. Now, I did have to pick up a Blu-ray drive. I had to borrow a game. I wanted to test out Indiana Jones, but aesthetically, I like the PS5 without the optical drive. Now, Xbox, on the other hand, went for a more minimalistic design, which I'm a fan of too as well. So you can stand the console up either vertically or horizontally. No stand required, and it is a lot smaller compared to the PS5, so it will fit on most cabinets or desk setups. Kind of have like a green accent on the top of the console where the fan exhausts the heat. As a bonus, you have a built-in optical drive, and yeah, it's just a simple matte black box. It could be boring for some, but hey, some people love the minimalistic design. And now Xbox did offer different limited editions. You have the Halo edition, all digital Xbox Series X and all white, which looks nice. And even the Series S, which I'm not going to be comparing during this video, also looks simplistic. And Xbox decided to not include any USB-C ports. That should have been all Type-C, but hey, all USB-A on both Series X and S. PlayStation at least had one Type-C on the original model, and nowadays we have two Type-Cs on the front and two USB-As on the rear, on the back. I did pick up an external hard drive for the Xbox too as well. So the design, I'm giving the point to PlayStation. Although I love the simplistic and minimalistic design of the Xbox, I just love that unique design. And also too, you can swap out the plates. So if I'm tired of the white plates, I could pick up either third-party plates or first-party plates and change the total aesthetic of the console. Let's talk about controllers. Now, both of these controllers are absolutely incredible. I mean, Xbox went for a more if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is taking the same exact controller as the Xbox One, the predecessor, and just, hey, slap the Xbox Series X and S, and this is that controller. There's nothing wrong with that. That means your older accessories will work on the Series X, and ergonomically, Xbox always hit home run when it comes down to the ergonomics, the triggers, and everything like that. And you can customize your very own Xbox controller, so you can change the body, the back, the bumpers, the triggers, the D-pad. You name it, you could pretty much customize it the way how you want it. PlayStation, on the other hand, went for a more innovative approach. You have the adaptive triggers. You have the haptic feedback. The controller is a lot bigger compared to the PS4, and it just feels more premium than the predecessor. Also, the D-pad is better on the PlayStation opposed to the Xbox. I like the individual D-pad, it's more suitable for fighting games in my humble opinion. But the part that kind of gets me with PlayStation, you have stick drift and the battery life being just minuscule compared to the Xbox. Now, some people would look at having batteries on Xbox as a negative thing, but the beauty about having batteries, if they die, you buy new batteries and now you're up and running. Or if you don't like that option, you can pick up a battery pack and have a traditional way of charging your controller. But on the PlayStation side, the DualSense, once this battery goes out, that's it for this controller. Now you can't take your controller apart and swap out the battery like that, but it's not as intuitive as Xbox. Now, both Microsoft and Sony offer a pro version of their controllers. In this case, I have the DualSense Edge, and I had the Xbox Series 2 Elite controller, and both controllers were premium. But I do like the fact how Xbox have 4 paddles opposed to just 2 on the DualSense Edge. You can finally swap out that D-pad for a more accurate D-pad, as you will. But Xbox kind of went backwards with their controller, having a built-in battery opposed to having the option picking up AA batteries or even a battery pack. Both controllers offer a trigger stop and even has a USB-C lock where it doesn't just fly off the controllers. You know, it's a lot of nice attention to details on both. So since we're on the topic of controllers, why not talk about the accessories? When it comes down to the PlayStation, you do have VR support. So I still have my PlayStation VR. I am working on a long-term review on that. And PlayStation recently announced that they are coming out with a arcade stick. You have the PlayStation Portal, then you have the PlayStation Earbuds, then you have the PlayStation headphones. But on the Xbox side, not really that much. No VR support, which is pretty disappointing. No sort of handheld. I think very recently Xbox is coming out with an ROG Xbox Edition, but that's a standalone system where you could play Xbox games without the console. And of course, you have your storage expansion to expand the storage, which, by the way, I have to show you guys this accessory here. I've been had this and I actually made a YouTube shorts on this, but it looks like an Xbox Series S, but it's actually a solid state drive to expand the storage. And also, Xbox made their official wireless headset. I also made that video on that too as well, and that's actually pretty good too. I like the sound quality on that. But other than that, it's nowhere near as expansive as PlayStation. I'm giving a point to PlayStation, while the actual controller, this one is a bit tricky for me because I love both controllers. Comes down to the ergonomics and the feeling. I love Xbox. I'm gonna probably give this one to the PlayStation 2 as well. Just something different, something new. Even PlayStation have a speaker, has a mic. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to the PlayStation. All right, let's talk about the user experience. Both Xbox and the PlayStation 5 are easy to get from point A to point B. You have your media apps such as Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix, and YouTube, to name a few. And if you happen to enjoy this video, I appreciate if you smash that like button and as well as click on that beautiful subscribe button. The PlayStation 5 UI just has that polish, from the background music to the animation. The home screen is minimal, smooth, and the control center gives you instant access to downloads, party chat, and media without leaving your game. And plus, the activity cards let you jump into missions and track progress. Super handy for trophy hunters. And let me tell you, I was playing Resident Evil and it gave me hints without ever picking up my phone, going on YouTube, that whole shebang. This is baked right into the UI, saving me time. The Xbox, on the other hand, feels fast and familiar, but quick resume is an absolute game changer. Essentially, you can jump between multiple games almost instantaneously, skipping the loading screens entirely. But the actual user experience still feels kinda basic, but it gets the job done, but it's just not exciting. And you can even buy hardware here too as well. So you could buy an Xbox Series X right on your Series X if you really wanted to. And it's pretty cool though. You could pick up a new controller and it's on sale too, it'll tell you. This is nice. I love the PlayStation user experience. Everything here is baked into the UI right away. So it's not even like a separate app at all. And same thing with PS Plus, everything is baked into the UI, which is nice. It's just very seamless to get to point A to point B. In terms of subscription services, you have both Xbox Game Pass versus PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. This one is about value for money and the library depth. Xbox Game Pass is still the absolute golden standard. I'm talking day one releases, guys. Games like Tony Hawk Pro Skater that just came out, instead of you spending $50 on PSN, you could get it for free on Game Pass. And also Doom: The Dark Ages boom, instead of paying $70, you could get it on Game Pass. And for crying out loud, I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Battlefield 6 make its way straight to Game Pass. And of course, you have your Call of Duties, Black Ops 7, we definitely gonna see that on Game Pass. It's that serious, guys. It's to the point where you don't even need to buy any more games. This is it. This is all you need. Plus, it works on console, PC, and even the cloud, so you could play pretty much anywhere. Without a doubt, this is the best deals in gaming, without a doubt. Now, PlayStation Plus Extra, on the other hand, has a strong library too. Mega hits like Spider-Man, Demon's Souls, Ghost of Tsushima, and my personal favorite PS5 game, Returnal. But there's a catch: no day one first party releases, well, at least for now. The PS Plus premium tier throws in classic games and cloud streaming, but most people agree it's not quite worth the upgrade, unless if you're into PS1, PS2, just those classic PlayStation games. Both Xbox Game Pass and PS Plus Extra are similarly priced, but when it comes down to the sheer value, especially for new games, without a doubt, Xbox Game Pass takes the lead in subscriptions. You can play any Xbox game here. So Xbox One, the original Xbox, and Xbox 360. But if you're locked into PlayStation, I forgot to breathe. The extra tier gives you a solid library with some great exclusive games. Something we never thought we'll see is happening. Big Xbox exclusives are landing on PlayStation. We talking games like Forza Horizon 5 and Gears 5. Franchises that defined Xbox is here. The only thing that's missing is Halo. So why exactly Microsoft is doing this? It's part of its new strategy. I think it's just to put games first and not the console. I guess you could say Xbox is pulling a Sega, where they just putting their foot forward on games and not hardware no more. Xbox know they losing this console war, and they just trying to win in subscriptions and the service war with Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, by putting some of their top titles on PlayStation, they will get more players into the Xbox ecosystem. Now, let's be real for a second. If you try Forza or Gears on PS5, Game Pass on Xbox becomes way more tempting. Now, this doesn't mean every Xbox title is coming to PS5, but I think it's a select amount of hits that will build hype while Game Pass gets day one releases. Meanwhile, Sony exclusives like Spider-Man 2 or even God of War are locked into PlayStation for that more premium experience. Now, PlayStation is also branching off to PC with games like Uncharted, The Last of Us, Returnal even. It just seems like everybody's branching off, blurring the lines between the two consoles. So if you get Forza Horizon 5 and Gears 5, I think this is just the beginning. The next few years, we could see something totally different and change the way how we think about console exclusives. When it comes down to raw power, the PS5 Pro easily takes the crown on this one. Thanks to a boosted GPU and PSSR upscaling, it's officially now the most powerful home console on the market. Now, don't get me wrong, graphics still look very similar across both systems. You're getting clean visuals, solid textures, and great lighting either way. But the difference is the PS5 Pro has more headroom, especially if devs take advantage of that PSSR upscaling tech. Now, there's a rumor going around saying that there's going to be a major software update coming next year that will significantly improve that PSSR upscaling tech. Let me just say the full name: PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution technology. Now, this update will bring improvements to performance and image quality. Now, yes, games feel super smooth. We're seeing up to 4K at 100 frames per second, and depending on that mode, yes, you have to choose between performance and quality. Hopefully that goes away on the next console generation, but the PS5 Pro blurs that line now, delivering fluid gameplay and fidelity combined. And I think on some games they call it Pro mode, so that's the best option to pick. PS5 Pro easily pulling ahead when it comes down to future-proof ready power. That is, I'm very curious to see how that update is going to be, and if it's going to bring that much of a difference. And I would love to do a graphics comparison, but you got to leave that to Digital Foundry. So with all of that being said, which console would I go with? To nobody's surprise, I'll go with the PlayStation 5. There's no denying that PlayStation is flexing its strengths here when it comes down to the games, performance, thanks to the PS5 Pro, and just the community in general. You have everybody that's just on PlayStation. Now, it's not to say that I don't like the Xbox. It's like, what will be the point of anybody buying an Xbox Series X in 2025? You have games like Gears of War and even Forza Horizon making its way up onto the PlayStation side. Now, I will always respect Xbox. I love the fact how backwards compatibility, they striving for that. Xbox Game Pass is looking like it's a strong future. And most importantly, just the history of Xbox. They pioneered online gaming thanks to Xbox Live. As it stands in 2025, PS5 is the way to go. But until then, if you excuse me, I'm gonna play my Nintendo Switch 2, some Donkey Kong Bonanza.